I asked my parents why they hate me for stuff I did when I was 3 years old. My parents have hated me my entire life, and I can prove it. When I was 3, my mom had 2 babies back to back. They were only 11 months apart, and suddenly I didn't exist anymore. My parents completely ignored me to focus on the babies. They'd pass me off to whoever would take me. Grandparents, aunts, uncles, anyone. Sometimes I'd sit in the living room trying to get their attention, and they'd just walk right past me like I was invisible. I got so desperate that I started throwing these massive tantrums. I'd scream and cry and knock things over just to get them to look at me. One time I bit my mom on the arm because I wanted her to notice me. That bite ruined my entire life. I'm 16 now, and they still bring it up constantly. Every single day they remind me that I'm the kid who bit his mother. Doesn't matter that I was 3 years old and they were ignoring me. When they buy my sister and brother new phones or take them to the movies, I ask why I can't go. Their answer is always the same. You bit your mother? They didn't. How could a biter possibly deserve to be rewarded? My grandparents on both sides have all tried talking to them about it. They tell my parents that I was just a toddler who needed attention. But my parents won't listen. They actually got into screaming matches with my grandma about it. Someone in the family called CPS on them a few years ago because of how badly they treat me. Nothing happened with the report, but my parents were furious. They almost cut off both sides of the family over it. The only reason they didn't is because they needed free babysitting. I get left out of everything. Beach trips, amusement parks, family dinners at nice restaurants. I stay home alone while they take my siblings out and post pictures on Facebook about what an amazing family day they're having. They also throw in my face that when I was 3, I said I wanted to get rid of my baby siblings. They tell me I'm selfish and wanted to hurt them. My grandma heard my dad say this once and lost it on him. She told him he should be ashamed for holding the words of a neglected 3-year-old against him 13 years later. All my grandparents have offered to take custody of me. Every single one of them. My parents always say no, even though they clearly hate having me around. I think they just like having someone to punish. My siblings treat me like garbage too. They're super close with each other, but they act like I'm some kind of monster. I resent them so much for getting the parents I should have had. Last week it was my sister's birthday and the whole family came over. My grandparents had bought me some school supplies I needed, and my parents were furious about it. They started going off on everyone for giving me anything. That's when I finally snapped. I asked them why they hated me for stuff I did when I was 3 when it was their crappy parenting that made me act that way in the first place. My dad completely lost it. He started screaming at me to shut the hell up and how dare I question their parenting. My mom was yelling that I was an ungrateful little brat who ruined her life. They got so loud and aggressive that my grandpa started recording it on his phone. My grandma tried to call the police. That's when my parents noticed and suddenly calmed down. My grandparents wanted to take me home with them right then, but my parents threatened to have them arrested for kidnapping and said they'd make sure they never saw any of us again if they interfered. I stayed because I couldn't risk my grandparents getting in trouble. The last week has been the worst of my life. My parents are more hateful than ever. They barely let me eat dinner with them and keep making comments about how I betrayed them. I have 2 more years until I turn 18. 2 more years of being punished for biting someone when I was a toddler.